Assalamu alaikum, everyone. About a week ago, I posted that I had found some Niqabi gloves, and people were wondering what's a Niqabi glove. So basically, there are women who wear niqab or the face veil, like I do probably about half the time, um, and they wear gloves with them as well to cover their hands. So I'll probably do a video on this. I'm gonna do a little blog post on it as well. But there have been multiple women, Muslim and non-Muslim, who have decided to wear niqab and gloves for mental health reasons. So I started wearing niqab because I was having what we think are anxiety attacks, and whenever I went to school. And when I started wearing niqab, it was like an extra comfort and an extra barrier from any kind of bad emotions, I guess. And it helped me to not have anxiety attacks and get sick every day when I went home. So I've also seen girls start to wear niqab and gloves because they have anxious behavior like skin picking, and I do that as well. I pick at the skin on my hands. So I decided I should start wearing gloves to help me keep from doing that, so I can kind of get more back into health in my life. So I wanted to do a quick video of a review of several different kinds of gloves that are on the market that are going to be easy for sisters to get their hands on. So, sorry, I had to grab my phone for this. So the ones that I found the other day, I went to Kohl's, and this brand is sold in a lot more places than Kohl's, but I'm going to go over theirs first. So the gloves that these are isotoner performance gloves. I got them in matte black, and they have like the rubber grips on the hands, and they have things for you to be able to use your smartphone with. And I will show you that I can do that. So here's my phone. Well, that's not showing very much, is it? Let's try again. Okay, so here's my phone. Let's click on messages. See? So it works really well. The issue that I had with these is, okay, there are two different styles of the isotoner performance gloves. There are the black ones, which I purchased. And then there are also some that have gray in the front and have bands of color. So there were like purple, pink, blue, those kind of things. So the front is kind of like a dark gray with like stripes, and then the rest of the glove is black with color, or they have colored versions of this one where the front is like all pink and the rest is black. The dilemma that I had, one was I didn't want colored gloves for every day. I wear a lot of black and other dark colors, so it makes more sense for me to get dark gloves. So I didn't want to get the ones that were completely colored. Now, the ones that were gray, I was looking at, and I was comparing them with these. So these ones are actually a touch thicker than the gray variant, and therefore a little warmer. There's like fleece kind of stuff on the inside. Here, let me see if I can see. There's like a fleece on the inside. So since it was winter and I get cold very easily, and since I have fibromyalgia in the winter, my hands hurt really bad at work when I'm typing. Things get really stiff. I figured that, I'll get the black ones that are a little bit warmer, and then in the summer when it comes time, inshallah, maybe I'll buy some more summer type gloves if I can find them. This was because I was looking at Sunnah Styles website. They have their own set of niqab gloves. They call them the Esteem gloves, and they run about $25 to $30, which is about how much that these cost me. but they only come in one size fits all, which really means that they came in medium. So since I have very, very small hands, almost to the size of like a child's hands, like 12 or 14-year-old, if I were to get those gloves, they would be really large on me. They just wouldn't work. The touchscreen portion would not be able to work because my fingers are not long enough to fit in the glove, and it's not wide enough to fit properly in the glove. So I got these as a starting point, and also in the hopes that maybe by the time I needed other gloves, Sonastyle would have smalls out. I also got your normal, everyday winter texting gloves. Okay. Like I said, I get really cold. And I had some of these before, but for some reason, they weren't working as texting gloves anymore. So again, here, let's go on Instagram. Ta-da! So these work really well if you are going to be outside and it's cold, things like that. But I wouldn't really want to wear them inside. That's up to you. Some people may be comfortable doing that. But since I work in an office and I am working on my master's, I try to wear, I guess, more streamlined, professional looking gloves, so that way it kind of fits in with the environment that I'm in, if that makes sense. Which leads me to the last pair of gloves that I want to show you guys. So, Sonastyle, on their website, I was looking at it again, and it said that they were compression gloves. So previously, when I had been looking, I had only been looking for texting gloves or touchscreen gloves. So most of these are gloves that are meant for winter, like the isotoner ones. Those are meant for winter, but performance. So they have less padding because they want people are going to be running in them and things like that. I needed something that was going to be cool enough for the summer when we get like 120 degrees heat index and things like that. I need to be able to have some gloves that work. Now, I had some lace gloves that I was using, but it's touch and go when it comes to being able to use your phone on them. And I have satin ones as well. Same thing, you can't really use your phone on them either. And so I had contemplated on the satin gloves cutting a slit in the thumb and the forefinger, so that way I can just slide my thumb out and my finger out. But then when I found out that Sonastyle's gloves were copper compression gloves, I went on an internet search to find copper compression gloves. So let me put this on. There are several, just like 2 or 3 different brands of copper compression gloves on Amazon. This one I found off of Amazon, but they sell on Amazon as well. So if you have Amazon Prime, that means free shipping, which is always fantastic. So these gloves are Tommy Copper compression gloves. As you can see, and I'll put one on to show you the difference. These gloves are much thinner and more streamlined than the original black ones that I got. You see the difference? So they're still all black except for the little tip on the forefinger and then the pads on the forefinger and the thumb. They still have the grips, so that way if you're outside and maybe you slip, you can grab onto something, you won't fall. If you're holding onto something, you don't have to worry about it falling out of your hand, like your phone or anything like that. But they're much, much thinner. So that means I can do things like this. I can put a ring on over it. Not my wedding ring, but I could put fashion rings on over it if I so choose, things like that. So these work really well with your phone as well. And what's nice about Tommy Copper gloves, so they come in full finger gloves like this, they come in black, and they come in nude. They also have men's sizes and women's sizes. So this is a women's small, and it fits me pretty perfectly. It's not necessarily really compression on me, which, you know, that means it won't help with any sort of arthritic symptoms, or necessarily the pain from fibromyalgia if it's not just from the cold. But on someone a little bit larger than me, it probably would actually be more of a compression glove. So you can get them in black and you can get them in nude, depending on what your preference is. They also have fingerless gloves. They have long, like, arm sleeves if you want something to cover your arms with, but you don't necessarily want to cover your hands. Things like that. So they work really well. I'm really happy with how they look. They cover all the way to my wrist. So then, you know, most of the time I won't have to worry about anything showing, and they're just comfortable. Wearing them, they feel actually kind of cool on your hand. They have moisture wicking technology to keep your hands cool, and I believe the copper helps with that as well. You know, I touched something hot earlier and it didn't even feel hot. My hands still felt cool. So that was really nice. And since they're so thin and streamlined, they're very easy to type with. So I thought that was fantastic, because that's part of why I looked them up, is the original black gloves that I got that were the isotoner gloves are too difficult for me to type in at work. So, I hope that you guys really liked this video. I hope that you found it informative. I will post some links down below to each of the different kinds of gloves, and I'll also post a link to my blog where I'm going to give a kind of fuller review with pictures and everything, so that way people know what I'm talking about. All right. Assalamu alaikum. I hope you guys enjoyed and have a great weekend.